Hi everyone, I'm Tessa Virtue and I'd like to officially welcome you to the spring edition of Team Canada Champion Chats. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to have an exciting 45 minutes ahead, chatting with an incredible athlete panel about the importance of physical and mental well-being and what it means to be a champion. So for those of you following along at home, we'd love to hear from you. Share on social media using the hashtag #BeAChampion, or write in the comments here on Facebook. We're going to do a live question and answer at the end of this, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. I suppose I should introduce myself. I'm a 5-time Olympic medalist in ice dance, and I've represented Team Canada for over a decade. I'd like to pass it over to our other athletes. They're incredible, so inspiring, good friends of mine. And I'd like to start the conversation with Angela. Tell us about where you are, how you're doing, and your sport.
Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing well. My name is Angela Whyte and my sport is track and field, specifically the hurdles and the heptathlon. I am originally from Edmonton, Alberta, but I'm currently located in Toronto, Ontario right now.
Love it. Thanks for joining us. Andrew, over to you.
And I'm currently in Toronto. I'm a swimmer for about 20 years, went to competitions all over the world, 5-time Paralympic medalist, including this gold medal right here, put it in the screen, and happy to answer any questions later on. And just really happy to be here and answer anybody's questions, because that's why we're here, to try to help motivate everybody. So thanks for having me, and back over to Tessa.
I love seeing that medal. It looks heavy.
It is. Yeah, it's quite heavy. Yeah.
Has some weight to it. Looks great.
Has some weight.
Michelle, can you say hi to everyone?
Hey everyone, I'm Michelle Salt. I am currently living just outside of Kelowna, born and raised in Alberta. I competed in the last 2 Paralympics in para snowboard, recently retired to focus on adaptive wake surfing.
Amazing. We're all about adapting here at Classroom Champions, aren't we? And Lani, last but not least, over to you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Lanni Marchant. I'm originally from London, Ontario, but I'm currently based, that's my dog Elle. I'm currently based in Boulder, Colorado. I run distance events, primarily the marathon, but really anything from the 5K up. I like to throw my name in the ring and give it a go.
Incredible. Thank you so much for joining us. It means a lot. I thought before we dive into some significant conversation, it might be good to get loose, get moving a little bit. So Andrew, do you mind helping us out?
Yeah, sure. So we're going to do something called the wobble, and we're going to do it really simple.
The
I'm
wobble.
going to stand up here and put my son's crying. But so basically what happens is you get your body up, you get it moving, and then so take your one hand, any hand, left hand, and just do like this, and just let it go. And then you go to your right side and you do this and let it go. And then you stand up, and then you want to go backwards and just let your body go. So everybody in there, just let your body go. And then you lean forward and let your body go. So it's right side, let your body go. Left side, let your body go. To the back, let your body go. And to the front, let your body go. Oh, there you go. Right side, let your body go. Left side, let your body go. Behind, let your body go. And then front side. And I tell my 9-year-old this, and I say, that's the wobble. She keeps saying, let's do the wobble. So you can do it with your friends and have some fun with it. So that's a little bit to get us going this morning. Hope you enjoyed it. And comment if you've heard it before, if you ever used it, give us a comment in the box. Thanks.
The wobble. I'm officially incorporating that into my daily routine. Thank you for that, Andrew. Now that we got our blood flowing, we can dive into some conversation. And I think the whole concept of mental health and wellness and prioritizing that right now is so important, especially because this spring we've all had to modify our plans, modify our expectations, and adapt. So I know one thing that I've been trying to focus on is to be present, and that's not always easy, especially these days. I've been thinking about my breathing. I've been trying to take moments to write my thoughts in a journal or a diary. And I've been reading a lot too, because I find that when I'm reading, I'm really present in that imaginative space that a story can provide. So I've really enjoyed that. And I'm wondering, Lani, how is it that you maintain your focus on health and wellness, whether that's physically or mentally, especially amid such turbulent times?
Yeah, so for me, the biggest thing is recognizing what you were saying, like you can do deep breathing exercises, you can journal, but also the wobble we just did. You can get up and move your body, be incredibly active. I adopted a dog just over a year ago. So for me, bringing my brain back to center and focusing on how I'm feeling is usually on my walks with my dog. If I'm, especially in this space that we're in now with the world, and everyone's had to adjust and adapt. And for me, that means no racing. So instead of getting worried and frustrated by that, I can go hike in the mountains and clear my head with my dog.
I love that. And it's a perfect way, especially with an animal, to bring your attention to something that's right there in front of you. And I mean, your poor dog doesn't know what's going on in the world. And that ignorance is also really a beautiful thing. Michelle, do you have any tips on reducing stress or anxiety?
So I was in a really bad motorcycle accident 9 years ago, which is how I got into para snowboard. And, during that tough time, I really had to tap into the resilience and the strength that I never really knew I had. During this tough time, I also think about who I was then and again, those strengths. So I like to just remind myself that I'm alive and I'm breathing and I'm healthy, and that I have, a good support system around me. I meditate as much as I possibly can, as well as not just mentally, but physically. I like to stay active and, go to the gym, take my dog for a walk as well, or go for a bike ride. But I think just reminding yourself that, you're resilient. We are all in this together. We can get through this, and staying active.
It's such important messaging, and it's great to remind ourselves that we're not in this alone, and we do have the strength and the skill set to come out of this and grow, learn, evolve, and we're stronger because of it, and we're in this together, as you say. I just want to make a quick shout out to one of the live comments, Samantha Goldman. She said, "Hi Tessa, our class motto is go for the gold. Could you make a shout out and give us some words of inspiration?" Goldman, I mean, what a perfect motto for you. It sounds like you're right on with the inspiration. I just think I'm all about setting big goals and dreams and using that passion to propel you forward and to fuel that. So it's important to have something to work for, something that means something to you. So I love that. Go for the gold. Why not, right? Angela, you did an activity focused on gratitude with Classroom Champions, and I'd really love for you to share a little bit about how you've incorporated gratitude into your daily life, and especially right now, how that's impacting your daily routine.
Yeah, and I was really grateful, actually, to be able to have the opportunity to speak about gratitude. For me, I do practice gratitude on a daily basis. And so the easiest way for me is I usually do it right before I eat, because it's an easy way to get started, because I'm grateful for the food that I have and able to fuel my body for my sport. And then from there, I just usually add some more things like gratitude for the people that I get to be around, my support, my family, my friends. I'm also grateful for, good weather, whether it's raining or sunny. I think all weather is good. And just little things that might seem insignificant, but maybe it's just like a smile from a stranger, or just like a small interaction at a grocery store where somebody might be helping somebody else. So I like to add those things in. I know another way of practicing gratitude is writing it down, which I think is a great way to do that. And I think another great way to practice gratitude is to share it. I think sometimes, and I've done this myself, I hold on to my gratitude, and I'm trying to do a better job of making sure that I let the people around me know how much I appreciate them, what they mean to me, and how they help me on a daily basis. And I feel like that feeling spreads, and it really does change kind of your outlook on life if you can just remember the small things that you do have in your life that make things great.
Well, now more than ever, isn't it those small, simple things that strike us most and that make us feel proud or happy or make us feel joy, and we have the ability to inspire that in others. Everyone does, because we're all champions, right? That's our motto here. Andrew, you did a really fun challenge to kick off the Team Canada Championshats series this spring, and I'd love to hear about that. I would love for you to tell the audience what that was like.
Yeah, so first up, we talked about mascots, and I think people, when they learn about the Paralympics or the Olympic Games, they're really, really in tune with what a mascot is. They love what they represent. They can associate with them. So what I thought I would do is I'd take a couple that I have from the Rio Olympics and Paralympics, and so this one is from the Paralympics, and this guy's from the Olympics, and together, seeing their happy faces means a lot to a lot of people, and for me. My wife actually happens to be from Brazil, so they mean something to me. And everybody watching the games looks at these mascots and has their own story of hope, and they bring a lot of joy to people's lives. And I think these days, as we're dealing with a lot of tough times outside, just to go to something that brings you happiness, whatever that happiness happens to be. So if it's a stuffed animal like a mascot, or if it's some special coin or whatever that sort of makes you happy, that's what we have to do, because, as with somebody with a disability, I lost my leg when I was 6 years old. I've overcome a lot of challenges in my life, but right now with society, there's a lot to overcome, and we just have to be better than that. So I think being able to focus on one thing and being better every single day. One of my mottos is, I want to be better today than I was yesterday, and I want to be better tomorrow than I am today. And if you live by that motto, you'll see what amazing things you can accomplish. Incredible.
I love that concept of progression, evolution, and growth, because we can always improve, right? You're talking about something tangible to have in front of you to remind you of happiness, or something that, makes you feel comfort. I've been looking at a lot of photos lately, and printed photos that I often carry with me, and they've been so meaningful. And I wonder, I don't mean to put the other athletes on the spot here, but I wonder if maybe each of you has something you can show us. And selfishly, Lani, I'm hoping that you showcase your dog here, but I'm going to start with you, Lani, and maybe we can just hit up each athlete for something you can show us and talk a little bit about what it means to you.
Yeah, so she actually just came into the room here, so I'm going to try and bring my camera down, show you guys my puppy. So this is Elle. I named her after Elle Woods. That was also my nickname in law school. She was supposed to be 50 pounds, but she's 80, so she's almost the same size as me. And so she's traveled since I got her. She's been everywhere with me. We've gone to Vancouver, Saskatchewan, Phoenix, LA, Toronto, Detroit. Now we drove out here to Colorado, so she's kind of my little traveling mascot, I guess you could say. She's always excited to see me, and I'm slowly teaching her to run with me. So she's my little show and tell.
She's beautiful, and she's not camera shy.
Oh no, she hands it up for the camera.
Perfect model, just basking in the sun right now.
Yeah.
Angela, do you have anything you might be able to share with us?
I don't know how I'm going to follow that up. But little fun fact, actually, Lani and I are teammates. We've been on Olympic teams together, and I've taken care of Elle. And so I'm quite familiar with how charismatic and just a wonderful dog she is. I don't have a dog, but what I do have is a plant. So I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, it's another living thing that you can take care of. And fun story about this, the flower here, so this is a peace lily. And when I first got it, there was a couple of flowers, but then over time, and guess what? I'm not an expert at taking care of plants. I'm surprised this has lasted so long. But the flowers had gone. But I still, the leaves were still there, were still beautiful. And actually just this spring, and it's been a while, like probably over a year, another flower came in. So I just, I'm very grateful for this plant that I get to take care of and see how it changes through the season and gives more flowers. It keeps giving.
It's a nice time to focus on your plants. I imagine when you're competing and you're on the road a lot, you weren't able to nurture them the same way. So
no, but I do have great friends that know that I do love plants, and I think they add a lot to the house for many different reasons. So look up plants, look up how it can help your house, and yeah, so it's still alive, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Michelle, I want to get to you, but before, I just want to comment on Allie Smith wrote in. Thank you for writing, Allie. And I just thought this was beautiful. She said, we have a gratitude rock. We sit in a circle, hold the rock, and share something we're grateful for. Then we pass the rock, and the next person has a turn to share. And that's Miles grade 1. I just think that is such a great concept, and maybe something that we can all incorporate with our family, friends, or communities. Michelle, I see we have another pet here.
Yeah, she's not my show and tell, though. She just happened to want to be part of this conversation. This is Lani. Lani is a massive cuddler, as you can see. Yeah, she's been really great for my life as well. But I wanted to show you guys my little collection of legs. So when I first lost my leg back in 2011, I wasn't really sure what my life would look like and if I'd be able to get back to the things that I was doing before. I was a big runner. I obviously loved to snowboard, and thanks to wonderful technology, this is my running blade that has a pretty cool Nike sole on it. And then I have my BioDAP Sports Knee, which has, as you can see, it has Fox mountain bike shocks in it. So this allows me to do, 50-foot jumps on my snowboard. I also snowmobile, dirt bike, mountain bike, wake surf with this. And it usually has a foot attached to it that also has a Fox mountain bike shock. So thanks to technology and, the amazing people that really invented these legs. And of course, the one that I'm wearing, that's an $80,000 leg. Yeah, I can do everything I was doing before my accident plus more. So it's pretty incredible.
Thanks for sharing that, Michelle. It's so interesting to see. How often are you switching your legs?
I definitely switch them when I'm doing sports, so that is quite often. The leg that I have on right now, which is this fancy thing, it is computerized. It's got a nice cover on it. That's the leg that I use for walking around and such. But again, when I'm doing sports, I have my trusty sports knee and my running blade.
So neat. We really appreciate you sharing. Thank you. Andrew, I was wondering if you've picked up any new hobbies throughout this time of spending more time at home.
Oh, sorry. Was that directed to me or to Andrew?
Well, Andrew, but I would love to hear from you too, Angela.
Oh, Andrew, you go ahead and take this.
All right. So I obviously as a swimmer, the pools are closed these days, so it's difficult to get out. My artificial leg cost $8,000, not 80, but I know about the 80 grand leg. So I was having a hard time trying to work out, to sweat a little bit, to maybe lose a few pounds. So my wife and I decided to get a treadmill. We only have a 1,000 square foot condo here in Toronto, but the treadmill is going great so far. And I kind of pushed my comfort zone because for somebody with above knee amputation, it's not something that I normally was comfortable doing. But it's something that I sort of needed to push myself with. So I started sort of on the treadmill, and I do it 3 times a week, and I'm finding something different that I've never done before. So I don't know if you call it a hobby, but it's certainly something that I'm happy that I'm doing. And I think when I finally be able to get back in the pool, I'll be a little bit better fit for when that happens.
That's great. I was just reading some more of the comments, and Samantha Goldman said, Michelle, one of my students just said that you are brave and strong. And I think we can agree that each of the athletes on the panel here are brave and strong, but everyone watching at home is too. There was one more question from Danny Frittata. Was there any point in time, Angela, I'm gonna go to you on this one. Was there any point in time in your life when you felt overwhelmed with your training?
You know what? I think sometimes it happens more often than you think. Usually when things are going smoothly, it seems to go by really, really fast. But the athletes usually go through a lot in a training year, and especially in a quad leading up to an Olympics. Over the past, I've had a very long career. I've been on the national Canadian team for track and field since 2001. And I've definitely had some roller coasters. I've been lucky to not have too many injuries, but as of late, I've been struggling with some injuries. And then usually what happens is when you're in training, you know what you want to be able to do, but you just can't quite do it. You see other people excelling and doing well and building for their season. And I've had to spend a lot of time focusing on trying to rehab and get back for this, well, for the 2021 season now. But I think the biggest thing is just refocusing. So instead of focusing on the season ahead, I just focus on my rehab and anything I can do to get better. But yeah, it's definitely not always been a smooth ride. And I think that's kind of what makes sport really, really interesting, is to see the peaks and the valleys that go through a season. And just kind of always try to stay focused on what you can do. And then eventually that will lead you back to the things that you know you want to do and try to achieve.
It's great messaging. And I think there are some takeaways that we can all hold on to from that. Pivoting, maybe coming up with a new strategy when something doesn't go exactly the way that we planned, and also embracing that, because so often those obstacles or rocky times are the moments that actually offer a greater chance to improve our skill set and be open to that feedback. So thank you. We have a question that was submitted to the parent-teacher dashboard on the website, and it's Miss Zaneri, who teaches grade 5-6 at Park Allen School in Edmonton. Hi, Miss Zaneri. Thanks
Edmonton! Oh, yes!
Thanks for writing in. We got some hype there. She says that she and her students really enjoyed learning about the Canadian athletes, and she has a question for myself and some of the other athletes. Miss Zaneri asks, what inspired you to choose ice dance, and did you always know that this is what you wanted to do? When I was 6 years old, I was in grade 1, so the same age as some of the students watching today. My class was going on a field trip to the arena, and I wanted to be able to skate with my classmates. So I asked my grandmother to take me to an arena to get some lessons so I would be ready. And that was my first experience on the ice, but I met Scott, my skating partner, who I did ice dance with. I met him when I was just 7 years old. And I learned pretty quickly that I loved competing. I loved dance. I loved challenging myself in a new way. And I was passionate about ice dance. But I don't think I believed when I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old that I would ever go to the Olympics. So for me to reflect back on that decision, I never thought ice dance will be my career. That's my path in life. But it naturally happened, and I'm so grateful it did, because I really loved the chance to travel, to express myself creatively. So maybe if I had learned the wobble before, I could have incorporated that into a routine. But I'm really grateful that ice dance did become the direction I took in life. Michelle, I'd love to hear your take on that. How did you get into sport, especially snowboarding?
Yeah, so I was a snowboarder since I was 13 years old. We went on a snowboard ski trip with our class, and of course I grew up in a small town, so that was like the highlight of the school year. And I jumped on a snowboard and I was like, this is it. I absolutely love this sport. And so my dream was to be a pro snowboarder. I pushed myself in the park, in the pipe. But as I became an adult, that kind of got pushed onto the back burner, and life carried on. At 26, I was in a motorcycle accident and lost my leg above the knee. And I was on life support for 7 days. And when I came off life support, I was told about my leg. And yeah, it didn't take long. Within, I'd say, hours, I had decided that I wanted to go to the Paralympics. So 5 months in the hospital, you know, my family had put pictures all around my room of me on my snowboard, and they're like, this is going to be your future. You're going to get there. And 2.5 years after that accident and setting that bedside dream, I made that a reality when I competed in the Sochi Games. But just even getting back on my snowboard, I'm not gonna lie, it was really frustrating the first time, because I was now using this knee that I showed you with Fox mountain bike shocks. You know, it was so different, and I had to relearn to do it. But snowboarding and sport in itself has given me the platform and the ability to heal from my accident, and I've made some of my best friends within sport. You know, it always be such a big part of my life, but snowboarding in itself has, I couldn't ask for more when it comes to, you know, I guess a career as an athlete and the people that I've met along the way.
I remember hearing your story, Michelle, when we met at Parliament Hill after the Sochi Olympics, I think, right? Yeah. And what a tale of resilience, and a reminder that even when it seems like the mountain ahead of you is steep and high and big, if we dream big enough, and if we pursue that with intention, you know, it's possible to achieve incredible things. So thanks for sharing that. I thought before we get into some social media questions and some questions from the Facebook comments, it might be a good time to take a mindful moment. And Lani, I'd love if you could lead us in an exercise here.
Yeah. So what I want everybody to do is, before we stand up, I want you to do a hill breath. So what that is this is going to help just calm us down before we hype up and jump around. So all you're going to do is take a deep breath, and I'm going to stand up so you can see me better. I want you to breathe into your belly, and then have it come all the way up your shoulders and to your collarbone, and then let it fall down your back. So you're nice and relaxed, and your shoulders are now pulled down and back. And then I'm going to get us moving here, but I'm going to try and make sure my dog doesn't jump on me. And I just want you guys to run on the spot, or do some jumping jacks. She couldn't care less right now. But let's just try and get our heart rate back up going, moving around. You can be as silly as you want. Shake it off. And then, yeah, they're already doing it. Okay, good. And then what I want you to do is put your hand, feel your blood pumping. Now, I want you to do that hill breath again, keeping your hands on your heart. And I want you to really imagine filling your lungs up with as much air as possible, pulling all that air up to your collarbones, to your shoulder, and then pulling your shoulders down and letting the air fall down your back like it's falling off a cliff. And when you do that, you can feel your heart rate come back down, and your back calm again. And this is a trick I use when I'm really nervous for a race. I'll calm myself with a breath, then I jump and dance around. I'm the lunatic on the start lines of races, jumping and dancing. And then before they shoot the gun off, I'll touch my heart, and I'll do another hill breath and try and bring everything back to center and focus back on me. And then I'm ready to go and compete and hopefully have a great race out there. So there's a little movement exercise for you guys.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Lani. What is so cool about that is it just brings our attention to our senses, right? So how we physically feel. And sometimes when you're nervous, I don't know what you guys feel, but your palms get tingly or maybe sweaty, and your breath gets short, and you feel those butterflies in your stomach. Have you felt that at home? And it's good to notice those things, because sometimes that can also reflect excitement. It doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing. We can view it as a positive, and it's our body just getting ready to perform. I really like that. I think taking note of what we smell, what we see, how we feel, maybe it's the wind in our hair, on our skin, all of those sensory things allow us to snap back into the present moment. And I think that is a really critical thing. So thanks, Lani. That was great. And incorporate a little bit of everything: the physical, the mental, the emotional. I think it's time officially we get to the social questions here. I'm going to just scroll on the side here. Let's see. Well, Allie Smith says, love this deep belly breaths and brain breaks like Lanni's get us through the school day. That's so true, so important. There was one up here that I really thought was, Sarah Denham says, hi everyone, I was wondering, what is one thing you have learned about yourself over the past few months during these unusual times? Andrew, why don't you take that one?
Where's that?
Yeah, so I think that I don't know if it's something that I've learned, but some have always known that, you know, we just have to be tough. You know, when times get tough, you just got to persevere and get over it. The Paralympic Committee has this really great video right now about how, you know, as a Paralympian, we've sort of overcome challenges and a lot of challenges in our lives. Not to say a lot of other people haven't, but I think it's just taking stock of what you have and being thankful and being appreciative of everybody and just being understanding, I guess, overall. Like, I'm working full time at home. I've got kids. My wife's working. So it's really challenging sometimes to make everything go the way you want to go. So giving myself a break, not being as hard as I normally am. I'm really hard on myself in the pool and trying to push myself to my limits every time I'm there. But back home, just understanding that there are going to be challenges. And every time you hear somebody talk, we don't know where things are going. So just being really mindful that, yes, I want to progress as a person. And also, if you have a little bit of downtime because you can't go out as much, take that time to learn, take that time to read, take that time to invest in yourself. And I think if we each take time to invest in ourselves and what we're doing, not just watching TV all the time, on the iPhones all the time, get away from that. Because I guarantee you, in a couple months, when we're back to where we need to be, and if you could take that time to yourself and create better habits, you'll be a much better person. And then you can look back at the pandemic and what's going on, saying, you know what, it didn't take hold of me. I got the best of it, and I'm learning, and I'm a better person. And isn't that what we all want anyways?
I'm learning, and I'm a better person. It's great. Alice Prince asks, and Angela, I'm gonna send this over your way. We're curious how you keep up with your training when everything is closed. How are you finding that, Angela? I'm sure you have to be quite creative.
As best as possible. So here in Toronto, we were able to use green space. So I was able to do some running there. And I just found that I kind of went back to some of the things I used to do when I wasn't just a track athlete. So I played all sorts of sports growing up. And I do have a pair of soccer cleats. And since I was on a field, I decided to put out some cones. And instead of just doing the straight ahead motion that we all do in track and field, was able to kind of come up with some different drills, probably similar to what soccer players would do, something similar to what football players would do. And I actually found that a little rusty, but I definitely did enjoy doing something just a little bit different. So if anything, the time away from the track isn't a bad thing, because now I'm able to use creativity, and our coach is still sending us workouts, and he's being creative with the things that we can do, and just trying out different things.
Angela, I'm picturing you hurtling over your couch and your dining room table and random things in your in your place as well.
If I wouldn't break things, I probably would do that. Definitely.
We have a question that asks, Jessica Franco, thank you for writing. As athletes, what keeps you going when you are physically or mentally exhausted? And Lani, I think this is a question for you, our marathon long distance runner.
Yeah, so marathon training's hard. But for me, especially the past couple of years, I've had 3 surgeries in 3 years, and basically felt like each year I was just getting in shape for more surgery. So the mental exhaustion of knowing I'd overcome one obstacle and then I'd have to rehab and build back again, and then rehab and build back again. I just learned that patience is absolutely key with myself and with others around me, that people are there to help. Tessa, we have a common person, and we both worked with Bruce Craven to rehab our bodies back. And he really helped me hone in on what I'm able to control and what I'm not able to control. And that you have to let go of the things that you can't control, and that sometimes is exhaustion and mental fatigue and physical fatigue, and just learning to respect my body and my mental space and giving myself more breaks through the day, whether it's to get up and dance around like a fool or to just actually relax and take a walk with my dog instead of going for that extra run. And it's just finding that balance, especially right now during these COVID times. I've really been able to enjoy having some space away from the hard push to get my body back healthy and ready. If I'm healthy now, I am ready, but I get to now enjoy the process a little bit more. And I'm finding that the mental and physical fatigue is a lot less now that I've learned to work in mindful moments and recovery time.
We can't underestimate the value of recovery and what that does towards our progression and our pursuit of a goal. And sometimes we get lost in just wanting to work our bodies so hard. Thanks. Alicia Renault says, what have you learned from your training that we can use in our daily lives in normal times also? And Michelle, I wonder if you could weigh in here.
I retired a couple of years ago, but even now I still constantly think about my training and what I learned and how that has carried on to my everyday life. For me, it was just being, we talk about being resilient and constantly pushing myself to, be the best that I can be. I think pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, that is key during this time. Of course, we have to definitely respect everything that they are telling us to do right now. But I think that we are learning to adapt right now. And if that means we have to do something that we haven't done in the past or that is new to us, then we do that. And I constantly was like, okay, I have to go over the start section, and this is very scary for me, and I don't know the outcome, but I'm just going to try this, and I'm going to figure out a way to do it, and I'm going to get through it. And so that is something that has definitely carried on to my everyday life, pushing myself out of my comfort zone within reason, of course, and within those protocols and yeah. Just rambling now.
No, we embrace the rambling. We love that. And I like when you said you just have to try, because sometimes, all we can do is our best, and we just do our best in the moment. And the first step towards that is just trying, just putting one step in front of the other and doing the best we possibly can. I wondered if we could all maybe offer one piece of encouragement. Andrew, I'll start with you. Just one piece of advice or one thing that might offer some comfort, especially during these times, to our audience here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to speak specifically, obviously, to all the students who are probably not going back to school for the rest of this school year. And I know it's difficult. I've got a 9-year-old at home who, misses her friends. And I'm certainly a lot of you out there are missing the interaction you have with your teachers, with your friends, with certain people in other classes. And I think that, there's a lot going on in life right now, and there's a lot of reasons that you're not going back to school. Do social media, Zoom chat with your friends, FaceTime, those types of things, and just enjoy being home. Just enjoy, the moment of sort of an extra long summer vacation, because it's a unique situation that I think we'll look back on in 5-10 years and go, I made it through that. So be as positive as you possibly can. As I said during my swimming career, that I didn't sacrifice a day of my life in my swimming career because I was investing my time to be better. And right now, I think everybody just needs to invest some time to be better, both mentally, physically, and emotionally, and just be aware that things are changing and we need to change with them. And, there will be brighter days ahead.
Well said. Lani, how about you?
What I've found that's something kind of keep me focused and keep me excited during these times is I actually grew up as a figure skater. And so I've been trying to relearn how to do a shoot the duck or a pistol squat. And so just finding fun and handstand. So I've just been trying to find fun challenges that can kind of get me through some of the low points, and it's something different for me to work on outside of my lawyering or my running. It's just a fun challenge for me. So that's something that you kids can get out there and do, is try and pick up a new skill or play with your siblings and create a game. My family and I, we used to come up with our own ridiculous games in the backyard, being one of 7 kids. And just so I'm trying, as much as I'm here by myself and I'm not with my family, I'm trying to FaceTime them a lot, Zoom with them. We'll play games. We'll do handstand challenges on the phone, and just finding different ways to challenge my head and my body, and trying to be creative with how I'm reaching out to the people that I'm missing right now.
I did know that about you, that you used to be a figure skater, and I love that. And I don't know if I'm inspired to try shoot the duck, but I love the handstand challenge. Maybe you can share some of your photos with us, and we can keep up to date on your progress.
Yeah, definitely.
Angela, how about you? Any encouragement for our audience?
Yeah, and I think this time is unprecedented, and I think this is a good time to test ourselves and to not be afraid. I think there's a lot of kind of scary things that are going on, but I think this is a great opportunity to kind of push ourselves in different ways. So if you've always wanted to try something, like Lani was saying, like try something new, don't be afraid to fail at it, because this is a perfect time. Actually, any time is a perfect time to start something new and fail at it, because that's the only way that we really truly get better at anything, is if we try. But I think the first thing is, don't be afraid and just start. A lot of times what I do, if there's something that I don't know if I really want to do it, but I feel like it's something that I should try, I just give a countdown from 3. I give myself a 3, 2, 1. And as soon as I say 1, I just go for it. And whatever the outcome is the outcome. But the best thing to do is to not be afraid. Use this time to be creative, try something new. And if you fail, that's okay, because you'll just find another way to make yourself be successful in whatever you want to do.
I love that. We can't be afraid of failure, right? Because how else do we get to learn about ourselves and try new things? And I think taking that fear out of it and just making it part of the process, whatever it is really important. So thanks, Angela, for sharing that.
No worries.
Jess Harriet asks, what is one thing you all look forward to on a daily basis? Well, I'll take that before we wrap up. Coffee, for one, a walk, and a talk with my family. Those video chats have served as such a bright spot in my day. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining. This has been incredibly insightful, and I hope that there are some takeaways about being present, prioritizing your mental health, and also practicing gratitude. I think there are many strategies that I'll be implementing into my daily life moving forward. And I want to also leave you with a challenge in true classroom champion fashion. I want you to think about kindness and how that makes you feel. When someone does something nice for you, that feels pretty good, doesn't it? So I want you to reflect on that, and then think about someone in your life, whether that's a family member, a loved one, a friend, or maybe someone in your community, and think of something kind you can do to make their day better. So some examples might include drawing a picture and putting it up in your window for any passerby to see. I've seen people painting rocks and leaving them around the community to maybe put a smile on someone's face. Writing letters. I love the idea of sidewalk chalk as well. There are so many things, and I would love you to try that and let me know how that makes you feel. So share your act of kindness, pay it forward. Use the hashtag #BeAChampion, and I'll be following along. I can't wait to see what you come up with. This isn't the end. There's much more Champion Chats excitement to come, but I thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for what's to come. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to our athlete panel. You guys are the best.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Safe summer.
Bye, everyone. Stay safe.
You too.
All right.